Okay, so the last thing I want to review with you is what we've just done, which is empirical formulas and molecular formulas. So I'm going to start with empirical formulas. So anytime you are given a percentage, okay, so the very first thing, you see all of these numbers are in percents. So the very thing you need to do is write down the percents and divide it by its mass. So magnesium is 24, okay? And you're going to take 29.6, which is silicon, and silicon has a mass of 28. And you've got 42.2% oxygen, and that's 16, and then 9% hydrogen, which is 1. So that's going to give me 9. All right, 42.2 divided by 16. This gives me 2.637. Right, 29.6 divided by 28. This gives me 1.057. And then 92.5 divided by 24 gives me 3.854. So you find the smallest decimal, which happens to be silicon, and you divide everything by that number. Okay? All right, so 9 divided by 1.057. This is going to give me 8.5, so we're going to round that up to 9. Okay? 2.637 divided by 1.05. This gives me 2.5. We're going to round that up to 3. All right, this is 1. And then 3.854 divided by 1.057 is 3.6. So we're going to round that up to 4. So now, these numbers tell you your subscript. So I'm going to start with magnesium. Magnesium is 4. Silicon is 1. Oxygen is 3. And hydrogen is 9. So this is my empirical formula. Okay? All right, let's do this one. It says ibuprofen has 75.69% carbon, 8.8% hydrogen, and 15.51% oxygen. The molecular mass is 206 grams. What is the empirical formula and molecular formula? So I'm going to use my little space up top, and I'm going to put 75.69 divided by the mass of carbon. And let's go ahead and just do this. So 75.69 divided by 12 gives me 6.307. And then I'm going to take 8.80 divided by the mass of hydrogen. So that should get 8.80. And then I'm going to take 15.51 divided by 16. And that gives me 0.969. So obviously this is my smallest decimal. So I divide everything by this. Okay, so 6.307 divided by 0.969. This gives me 7. Okay, and we've got 8.8 divided by 0.969. This gives me 9. And then this is obviously 1. So my empirical formula is C7H9O. Okay? So now the next thing I do to find the molecular formula is get the mass of this. So 12 times 7 plus 9 plus 16. The mass of this is 109. So I take this number, 206 divided by 109, which gives me 1.88. So I'm going to round that to 2. So I'm going to take this formula here, and I'm going to multiply by that coefficient of 2. So it's going to be C14 H18O2. Okay? So this is my empirical formula. This here is the empirical formula. This is the molecular formula. You cannot get a molecular formula without the empirical formula. Okay. All right. So one of the easiest problems to do is, let's say that they've given you the empirical formula and they just want you to know the molecular formula. So this is a one-step problem. Find the mass of that. So 12 times 7 plus 5 plus 32. This gives me 121. So take this number, 242, because that's the mass of the molecular formula, divided by the empirical mass. 242 divided by 121. This gives me 2. So now take and multiply this whole thing by 2. So that would be C14, H10, O4. So that is the molecular formula. So that's 2 different ways of coming up with the molecular. Just remember, like we see in this first one, if you see percents, okay, if your question is in percents, you've got to go through dividing each percent by the mass and coming up with the smallest decimal and then dividing each by the smallest decimal. That gives you the empirical formula. Okay, if the empirical formula is given like this one, you just have to find the mass, divide it by the mass they gave you, and then distribute whatever you get here to make that formula.